Alright, so hello everybody. Again, let me run for the green light in a second. Alright, so today's video is part 3 of the fundraising series that I started earlier. And today, in the last video, towards the end, I talked about what kind of ethos you want to convey to the investor, right? Like when I say that you shouldn't take advice blindly, or you shouldn't just bend over and listen to whatever, basically accept whatever feedback you're given. Let's go deeper into that concept, right? So if you don't take advice, does that mean you have to be an asshole? No. It doesn't mean you become arrogant and you don't listen to investors, you don't answer questions properly, or you close yourself off, right? So what's really the goal of the meeting with the investor? That's what I'm talking about, right? What do you want them to walk away with after you talk to them? And this can be the guiding light for how you answer questions and how you structure your deck, right? We already talked about the fact that the most important audience for your pitch is yourself, right? If you don't get excited by your own pitch, and in fact more and more excited as the pitch goes on, then it wouldn't be a good pitch for anybody else either, right? So let's see. From first principles, to sell anything to anybody, right? And especially for fundraising, the main emotion you want to transfer to that person on the other side is certainty and, I would say, seriousness, right? Certainty and seriousness. In fact, seriousness is kind of a part of certainty as well, but I like to think of them I like to think of them as like slightly different things. Certainty is that, so let's talk about seriousness first, right? If you seem like somebody who is not sure, right? Who is kind of casual, like, yeah, I would like to, run a marathon someday, right? I would like to do this someday. I'm thinking about this, or I'm thinking about that, whatever, right? I love kids. Then that's less serious than somebody who says, I am training for a marathon right now. 3 months later, and I'm gonna finish it. And you can see it in their eyes, you can see it on their face that this person's not fucking around, right? They don't have to be aggressive, they don't have to look angry, but you can tell when you look at a person, when they say stuff, this person sounds serious and this person does not sound serious, right? It could be an act, that doesn't matter, that's a different, like, whether they're honest or not is a different, discussion, but you can see what a serious face looks like, what a serious person talks like, and how a non-serious person talks, right, about their goals. That's what I mean by seriousness. I hope you get it just from this description, right? And another twin of seriousness is certainty, right? Certainty is not just about how seriously you're going after it, but like also how confident you are that you can do it, right? So I'm training for a marathon, I'm doing these things every day, whatever, fine, they're good. And I've cracked the code. Now that's seriousness. The certainty becomes now, okay, I've cracked the code, it's going to happen. I'm going to be finishing within the top 5. I've already beaten the last year's record for the top 10, and this year I'm already feeling better. Like, I'm just gonna get the top 5. I'm gonna make the top 5 in that marathon, right? So certainty is when you communicate not just with emotion, but also with certain facts. Like, it's like facts and emotion combined together, right? And when you hear that, then when somebody hears that, their subconscious mind goes, whoa, this person is not fucking around, they're serious, and this is happening with or without me, right? This thing, whatever they're working on, is happening with or without me, right? It's one thing like a guy who's looking for gold. Let's say there's a guy looking for gold, right? He's trying to be a gold miner in the gold rush, right? And he's like standing with a shovel, and he's like, he just bought a shovel, right? And he's like, I'm gonna go mine some gold, right? That's seriousness. Like, yeah, this guy's serious. He's gonna do something, right? Now, and then certainty is like, he doesn't just have a shovel, he has a map for like the best whatever veins in the area, or like all the data of, like, for example, okay, this places you've already found gold, this is where like uncharted, unexplored territory, but we have this with evidence for like this is going to be amazing, this is the right place to dig for gold that I think nobody's found yet, and here's all the shovels, and here's all the, like, I'm literally going, I'm fucking going, man, and I'm gonna go and dig for this gold in these places, and I'm gonna walk out with fucking gold, right? That's like certainty. Okay, so he's not just serious. You don't just feel seriousness, you also feel a sense of certainty based on the facts and everything around, right? And that's the kind of person you want to give your money to, you want to invest in, or like that's the person who's more likely to get investment than somebody who only has, let's say, who's like not even serious, like they're serious, but like they're asking stupid questions to the investor, like asking for feedback that betrays any seriousness they think they have, right? If you're building a blockchain company and you're asking me, hey, by the way, do you think it's a good idea to build a blockchain company right now? Like, if you ask an investor for like about stupid shit, he's like, is this person even serious? Like, he's building a blockchain company, he's pitching me a blockchain startup, whatever, and he's asking me, oh, what do I think are the good implementations of good applications of blockchain, right? What do I think of this and what do I think of that? What the fuck? It doesn't matter what I think, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you want to build a blockchain company, then ideally you have thought through those things yourself, right? This is why you're building one in the first place. But anyway, I mean, that's a side note. I don't know much about blockchain, right? So I'm probably not the right person to answer that, to like talk about that. Anyway, but that's the main concept. Certainty and seriousness go hand in hand, and the goal of your pitch is to convey to the person that you believe, right? Now, notice how neither of these, right, seriousness or certainty, neither of these has any grounding in like actual reality, right? If you're the guy with the gold, looking for the gold mine, the shovel and the map are owned by you. Like, the investor doesn't fucking know if there's actually any gold anywhere else, anywhere to be found, right? But you give the image, you give off this ethos that you are serious and that you are super certain and that this is happening, right? And humans being like, if someone was like a devil's advocate, like, no, I'm totally unwilling to believe, no matter what happens, I'm unwilling to believe that there's any gold to be found, and that your shovel is fake, you're a swindler, whatever. If somebody is against believing that, right? Well, there's nothing you can do to prove him wrong or right? But the thing is that human beings subconsciously are drawn to people who are serious and certain, right? Including investors. They're like human beings like the rest of us, right? And so, of course, you can do it you can do this, unethically. Like there are people who, like con artists, right? They use this fact to literally swindle people out of money, right? Because they use these human tendencies to just believe in people who are serious and certain, right? Actually, this is the dojo, but I should probably take a quick little walk because I want to finish this concept, right? And I'll show you around a little bit. That there is the roller coaster, by the way, and we often hear screams of people when we are training, in the dojo, periodically when they go through the roller coaster. But anyway, so keeping that in mind, right? Keeping that thing in mind. You want to say things that you want to avoid saying things, you want to avoid, accepting feedback that makes it sound like you are not serious and you are not certain, right? You only want to accept feedback and advice that strengthens your case, that strengthens, or that is in line with your core beliefs as an entrepreneur, right? If you take advice or if you accept advice that goes against those core beliefs, then you're kind of like betraying yourself. Like you're kind of like showing that you have so much self-doubt or whatever, or you're like not really sure about what you're doing, right? Which is a very bad signal to somebody who's entrusting you with their money, and hoping that you will spend it wisely and you won't waste it, right? So I guess that's it for today's video. I hope it makes sense, right? Leave a question or whatever if you need more specific examples, because this one was kind of abstract a little bit, right? But I hope it makes sense. Where it usually comes into play is this ethos should pervade everything. The way you write emails, the way you start the meeting, end the meeting, the way you talk. You should act like somebody who is there to build a company, right? Who is there to dig gold, and whose mission in life is to find that gold and not to please that investor. Does that make sense? If you seem more interested, if you give off the vibe that you're more interested in, pleasing the investor than in actually going to find the gold and digging for it with the map you have, then that's where, you actually give off the wrong vibe. So when I say that, you have to have this mentality. When I use the example of somebody who's mugging people with like a gun, it's not that you're actually being aggressive or negative towards people. Of course you get it, right? But what I actually mean is you want to communicate in a way that you are that person who's looking for gold and you found gold, right? You found gold, and you just need to go through, find people who are willing to help you. And if somebody is not willing to help you, right, you don't have to change. You don't have to say, oh, you don't want to help me to find this gold because you don't believe there is gold. Okay, I'll ditch all my plans and go find diamonds instead, because that's what you seem to be more interested in, diamonds. So you don't change your plans based on who's unwilling to help you, right? Unless the whole world was unwilling to help you, whatever, right? They're like, that's the dumbest shit plan, whatever. But then every entrepreneur has different levels of like conviction in their idea against like negative naysayers and whatever. And we can talk about that in the next video, like how to deal with naysayers, right? But that's all for this video. I hope it makes sense. I'm kind of rambling now, so I'll stop and get to practice. But thank you for listening, I guess. Yeah, take care. Bye.